So this video has been in the works for a while, and I haven't had the time to actually sit down and have this conversation. So I thought, why not today? Gonna try and keep this as short as possible, but as informative as possible. So, hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know, I graduated from Flame University this May, and I am currently waiting to start a job and everything. And while I'm doing that, I've been getting a lot of messages, a lot of DMs about the study abroad experience, about Flame in general. And while I do take consultation calls, which is linked in my channel bio or whatever, um, the study abroad experience itself, and today that's what we're going to talk about, is something that was very, very important for me when I went to college, especially when I was deciding which university I wanted to go to. And it was a big part of making sure that my degree was actually worth it. Personally, because it was just a personal goal to be able to do a semester abroad at exchange and just have that international exposure. Coming to the process itself, for most of you who are already going to Flame, you will have the time and the space to kind of explore it and understand more about it when you're doing it, and when you're at Flame. But to just give you a gist, there are certain requirements, which is usually now. Also, remember, before I tell you the requirements and everything in this video, this was for me 2 years ago, so some policies and some things can change over time. So just keep in mind that like things can change, and just be a little proactive about it. Coming to the requirements for the semester abroad experience, so you need to have, at least when I was applying, it was a 7.5 or above GPA, no disciplinary action against you, and that all your prereqs and everything before you go have been completed, and also that you have to complete a year at Flame before you can do like a semester abroad. So for me, it was open in my second year second semester, or I could go in my third year first semester. I chose to go in my second year second semester, and a disclaimer there is that if you choose to do the second year second semester, usually you have to do your DIP experience with your juniors. So you come back in your third year and you do your DIP experience with your juniors, which to me was not a problem, because DIP is more a professional thing anyway. And the semester abroad experience was a very important part of what I wanted to do at Flame. Along with that, it was also the particular semester that I wanted to go to IU in, and that was, fortunately or unfortunately, the second semester of the second year. Now, coming to the question that I get a lot is that how did I prepare for it before I went to Flame? So essentially, I did my research, and I already knew which universities who we have partnerships with are the universities I'm interested in and what I'm going to be targeting. And that's it. Like, that was my initial level of research that I did before I decided I'm going to Flame. Now, once I got there, another bias that I had was that the university I chose that I wanted to do my semester abroad in was actually a university I also applied to for my undergrad. So I already had a lot of experience in terms of, not experience, a lot of exposure to what the university is going to be like. And that just helped with the research that I did later on. Now, once I decided my major minor and my first year had gotten over, I knew that I had the option of either going in my second year, second semester, or my third year, first semester. And after speaking to seniors and after speaking to people who had actually already done the second year, second semester part of it and done DIP with their juniors, I realized what I wanted and why I wanted to navigate it the way I did. Again, now this is a very personal choice, and I think everyone needs to understand this, that it was a very, very personal choice to do it in my second year, second semester, when the rest of my class or the rest of my peers in second year were doing Discover India program, which is the one that you do with research and everything, like with 13 other people, and you go research on field and all of that. And it was a deliberate decision to not make that a big part of my decision to do the semester abroad in my second year second semester or in the third year first semester. I just felt like the second year, second semester made a lot more sense for me. Again, each to their own. Make sure you make the judgment based on what you actually want to do. Like, of course, these things are based on your profile, based on what you want from college, when you want that experience, when you want that exposure. Some people want it in their third year, first semester, because by then they've done a ton of courses in the domain that they're going in. But sometimes some people want to do it in their second year, second semester, because it's a like a the weather wise the semester is a nicer semester maybe, or the kind of courses they want to do, they want to take the international courses in that semester. Because you when you go for a semester abroad, the experiences are also tailored in some way to the things you would have done at Flame academically. So if you had 5 courses at Flame that semester, you would have to map out your courses at the partner university to make sure that they were around 80% the same. And that's only to ensure that when you come back from the semester, you are up to the mark with everybody else in your class and everybody else in your degree. And I think that's very important, because you can have all the international exposure, and then you learn so much, because you may be having very similar courses as the people here, but the advantage there is that you're having the you're getting the international exposure. You're also getting to experience the course, maybe materially the same, but intellectually and how it's actually, the way they'll deliver the course to you will be different. For example, for me, one of my marketing, like my minor was DMAC, and one of my DMAC courses was about 80% the same as the course I would have had here at Flame. But when I did the course there, even though in theory the course was the same, intellectually what I did in the course and how much it pushed me was completely different. I worked on a very interesting course, which was like 4 or 5 of us together were working like an agency, giving insights to a real company under Kellogg's. And it was for their new launch called the RX bars. I'm sure if any of you have traveled to the US, essentially these RX bars were getting reintroduced to the market, and they wanted to reposition themselves as a breakfast bar. And that was like, there were multiple problem statements given to each of the agencies in that class, and it was an interesting course, amazing. I have spoken about the course in one of my LinkedIn posts in more detail if you want to know. But essentially it was an overall overwhelmingly good experience, because I was exposed to a world of business I wouldn't have been exposed to if I wasn't here. And I got genuine professional feedback, because we presented our final case or our final deck to the CMO, to the people at Kellogg's, to their partner companies, etc. And we actually got real time feedback. I did not realize that you could see my wonderful towel in the background, but anyway, ignore that. Um, like I was saying, the experience is supposed to be tailored to what kind of an experience you want for that semester, because yes, it's a costly experience, so you might as well tailor it to what you want it to be, right? Another thing, that because that semester I was in, like, I did different courses abroad, I got to learn a lot about business law, and specifically related to finance, which was amazing, because I know I want to do a master's abroad, and it gave me so much context to everything I wanted to do in the future. Even to even consider the fact that whether I want to do a master's abroad, etc. So all I'm trying to say is, try to tailor it as much as you can to what you actually want to do, and not try to go with the herd mentality that, oh, if everybody is doing that, I should also do it in that particular semester. No, if you see that there's value in doing it in a different semester, do it because you think you should do it, not because anyone else is telling you to do it or not do it. You know what I mean? So requirements done. We spoke about my experience in some way. I've kept it short, but let me know if you want to do a detailed video about each of the experiences I did at semester abroad. I can do that because I have it all documented, and I would love to talk about it because I love talking about my semester abroad. I think it's one of my best experiences, and I will not shut up about it. So let me know if you want me to do that. As for preparing for it, as you get closer to it, my biggest recommendation or my biggest tip is to just be as prepared as you can, because a lot of the process of doing semester abroad is very overwhelming, in the sense that there's just so many uncertainties that you want to be as prepared as you can, and you want to actually do it from a place or an intention of like just exposing yourself to a great like space. When I was starting the process, it was a very overwhelming process because I was the only one going to Indiana University that semester. So I didn't really have anybody else who I was talking to about this or like having like a conversation regularly about it, which in hindsight actually helped me because I learned to just rely on myself and just do my thing and move on. Like I didn't necessarily need to constantly um bounce off my ideas, etc. So each to their own, but I guess it helped me in hindsight. But when I was doing it, it was a difficult process. And I think there's a video, I'll link it somewhere here, where I talk about how lonely or like how like the experience was when I was doing it versus how it felt once it was done. Regardless, so grateful for the fact that I got to do it. But yeah, I think that's about it that I get most questions on. How do you prepare for it? What's the, like the process, etc. The international relations office is usually the one now that takes care of everything regarding the study abroad experience. A note I leave you with is that there's also oftentimes summer programs that are opened up for the some of the partner universities that we have, where if you don't want to go for a semester abroad, you can also do a summer abroad. But you do have to factor in the two internships that you have to do in those. Like if you're doing it in your end of your first year, then you're doing a DAP. If you're doing it at the end of your second year, then you're doing a DIP. Sorry, not DIP, an SIP. Essentially, that the timelines have to match as well. So you have to make sure that you get your SIP in place and everything, and then you do it like do the summer abroad. So my last thing I'll leave you with this. Sorry, I know I said that before. The last thing I'll leave you with is that when it comes to experiences, when it comes to just like applying for these type of things and like actually wanting to do them, is that you need to have a lot of patience. You need to be very well prepared for it, and you just need to trust yourself a little bit that you'll do what you need to do when you need to do it. And I'd say building relationships and like genuinely connecting with people is the bottom line of these things. Like if you go talk to the office, you go to the international relations office and you actually speak to them, you you start chalking up your plan early on. Like, and I don't mean early on in the sense that in your first year, your first week, go do it, please don't. You need to get some clarity on what courses you want to do, and then you can go in and start thinking about these things. Essentially, when you're applying, that's one of the biggest clarity points that all the HODs look at when you give your application, and they want to see that you have the clarity and the resilience along with just the maturity to be able to go abroad and represent flame at that level. So again, it's very important for you to be able to do that. And yeah, I think that's all. I hope this video helped. I know it was a little bit of an overdue video, but I just did not get the time. And I honestly do not have that much space to do that on my phone as well. But I did get some time today, so I'm glad I got to do this. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, please send them in the comments. Like, share, and follow. All of you know that already. I'm not doing this. I find it so weird sometimes when I do it, but please like, share, and follow. Please like, share, and follow so that I can grow and I can do more videos. Because as soon as I start my job, I don't think I will have that much time, but I want to keep doing this. So please like, share, and follow. My email is somewhere on my channel if you want to talk, if you genuinely want to connect and like have this conversation in person. I mean, via like a Google Meet or something. Happy to do that. There's a consultation call link that's there in my bio or links of this channel, and you can sign up. I open slots usually every Sunday, and I'll see you in the next video.